Hi there, it's Jo from B-Rocks Crafts and welcome to your Affirmation Kit tutorial. So I'm just going to talk you through some of the designs I've previously made, how to set up your section, and then we'll just get straight on to crafting. So some of the ideas that I've created is the heart jar. So I'm going to show you how I made that one today. We also have the smaller jar here, how to make 2 sections. And also here, I've also created a large jar. So with the glitters provided in the kit, you will be able to make a large jar and probably be able to create 2 jars if you wish. So what I do first is I always lay down something onto my table, whether it be a plastic mat, something that I can throw away, and then I'll layer down a piece of paper on top, so if I've got any excess glitter, I can always put that back into the bottle and we're not wasting any products. Now that your section is ready to go, select your jar size, and what I did here was, this is just a jam jar, and I soaked it in hot soapy water, and the label just comes straight off, gave it a wee dry, and now we're ready to go. So this is going to be the jar that I'm going to be using today. So for this demonstration, I'm going to show you how I created the heart design here. So from the templates that were in your kit, you can trace out your heart size onto paper and then just simply cut it out and just place it where you would like on your jar. And for making the lines, I'm just going to create that using some masking tape, and the masking tape's quite good because it's not overly sticky and it peels off quite easily. This is also optional. You could also just take a pen or a Sharpie or a colouring pen of some colour and just draw on the design that you want. And if you're good at freehand, that's great, but just remember when you're gluing, you want to be doing that on the outer edge, so don't make your design overly complicated because you have to do the glue around the edges and you want it to be a neat, perfect line. This is why I like to use a template. So once I've done the glue and the glitter, I take that off and I've got a perfect heart shape, okay? So to add this onto the jar, I'm just basically using a super glue here, like a glue stick. This one is one of the cheaper ones, so it's not very sticky, and that's perfect for keeping this on the jar but not sticking completely down and you can't remove it. So I just take my heart and just cover it with my glue stick. And then place it down where I would like it to be on the jar. And then just press it down. Okay, so basically once we take that off, we'll have the heart left in the middle, okay? So we're going to just leave that there. And then just to show you how I did the masking tape, we're going to do the back of the jar with a line, just so that you can see how I created that. So we're going to do the back slightly different. So I think we'll have it in the middle here, like so. And I'll do 2 different glitters here so that you can see 2 of the designs. And then all you would do is just take your scissors and just cut off the excess masking tape. So this here, you can see it's got a bit of an edge on it. I just want to take that off and just make it a nice straight line. Like so. So you can create whatever design you want with your tape. It's also optional. You could also just glue a section and just leave it blank and just don't put any glue in that bit and the same thing will happen. It's just you might not get a perfect line. So this is us ready and prepped. And all we need now is our foam brush. And one tip with your foam brush, especially at the end when you finish your crafting project, is just take some hot soapy water and just clean your brush under there. Otherwise, if you leave this with the glue on, the brush will go hard and your brush will not be able to be used for your gluing of your Mod Podge. Okay, it's just one little handy tip for you. So I've just taken mine and put it into the lid because I'm using quite a large glue, but you'll have a smaller bottle, so you can basically just squeeze it on, or you can use a small container and put it on that way, okay? So I'm just going to use the lid for this one. And if you just take your hand, just to secure in the jar, like so, and then basically just paint on your Mod Podge. And just make sure you get right to the bottom and the same at the top. So a nice generous layer, even layer. Just go all the way around. Like so. I'm just going to do the front of this one to show you, and then I'll do the back so you can see that better. So you can just see what I'm doing here. It's quite straightforward. Right down to the bottom and straight up to the top. You can go right up to the top of the jar if you wish, but we're going to be covering that with string. But you can also do the neck of the jar. So just make sure. Here. So this is us ready to go. I've layered down my paper, and I'm just going to choose my glitter, and I'm just going to use a silver one. And then all you do is just cover the whole jar with the glitter. It doesn't matter how much you use because we're going to scoop it back into the bottle. So it's better to do a thicker layer and then scoop it back in, just so that you can make sure you've got the whole thing covered. And then just roll it round. Just let it shake off. And see, I'm not so bothered about how much glitter is coming onto here, because I'm going to scoop it all back up. There we go. Keep going all the way around. Then all you do is give it a tap, and that's one layer that you have on your jar. Now, you can leave it at one layer depending on what glitter you've used, or if you feel there's a couple of gaps, or you just want it to be a thicker layer, just wait till it's completely dry. So I would leave it for about an hour. If it's quite warm in your living room, it might dry even quicker. But if you're really impatient like myself, then I would just take my hairdryer and just go over the top, and then that dries in the glue even quicker. So there we have one layer. So I'm just going to pop that to the side for a moment. And then I'm just going to take off my tape that's holding down my paper. Like so, and then scoop it in the middle, and then just angle it into the bottle, if you can see here. Oh. And all your glitter goes back in. You don't want to be wasting all your glitter. If you're using two colours, just use two different pieces of paper so that you're not mixing them together. You might not want to have them as a two-tone. However, you could also mix your two glitters at the beginning and have a multicoloured jar. So now we're just going to peel off our heart, like so. And now you can see we now have the perfect heart shape here. Okay, So once you've decided whether you want to have one layer or two layers, once it's completely dry, you would just then take your Mod Podge and just go straight over the top of your whole design. And this way it seals in the glitter so that you don't get any of the sprinkles. So you just do that over the whole jar. And then just leave that to dry, I would say overnight, just to make sure it's completely dry. So for doing the two layered one, you can see I've got the masking tape here. So we're just going to do the exact same scenario as we did before. So we're going to add some glue down here. One tip as well, once you come to do your second layer, to seal it, just be careful you don't mix the glitter into your glue and then end up mixing the colours. So just another wee tip for you. So let's get that on there, right to the edge, and then the same here. And then just go straight down the edge here so that it meets at the end. Straight all the way around, like so. Same process. And then I'm going to do silver, I think, at the bottom. And just tap that off. You can see here. And then I'm just going to use for this video the same piece of paper. I'm just going to move that down a wee bit so you can see. I'm going to take my blue and then just do the exact same again. So it's nice and sparkly. How bright that is. It's actually nice when you do two tones, and it's also nice when you mix the colours together. You could also do more than one heart, but I just like the heart at the front so you can see the affirmations. Okay. And then if you're happy with the layer, then you just take off your masking tape. And you have a nice clean line. Okay, so now that your jar is completely dry, we're going to put the string around the top of your jar. So first of all, cut your string to size, and then you take your jar once again just in your hand and pop some Mod Podge right around the top of the jar. Now you can put quite a bit on here to make this stick down, and remember Mod Podge will dry clear, so you don't need to worry about seeing any glue marks. Mod Podge is a glue, a sealer and a finish, and it's a non-toxic product. And there we go, all the way around as you can see here. And then we'll start from the back and just take your string and then just wind it round the jar right along the bottom. And if you feel that it's not sticking down, you can just take some Mod Podge. And then as you go along, you can also add some more, and that will help it stick down, because remember it's going to dry clear. So just keep going all the way around top. like so. Just keep going. You can go back over the top, round the bottom again, and do it as thick as you want, or as thin as you wish. Put that right down there. Space there, and then once you're getting near the end, just take your Mod Podge here, just push the string in here, and then that will seal all the way down. Shoot. And then I'm just going to add some here just to make sure that it all stays on and doesn't come away from the jar. All the way around the top here, and then you just leave that to dry, or you can use your hair dryer if you're impatient and you just want to finish your project. But I usually just dry it kind of near the radiator, and it dries quite quickly, but the longer you can leave it the better. Sure. And that's how you add your string to the top. So this has to be dry before you add the last embellishments on top, okay? Okay, if you decided you wanted to add your heart embellishment on as well to this one, then just take some more glue. I think I would like it right at the front here. Load it up with loads of glue. So you would have to wait until your string was dry, add on your heart, and then basically just let it lie down flat, and the heart will eventually just glue down to the top, because the Mod Podge is also a glue as well as the sealer. If you find it's going to start to roll over, just use something like your glue stick just to stop it from rolling over. And I would just leave that as well for as long as you can, just to make sure it's completely sealed down. So when your jar is dry and the string is all completely dry, you can then add your tag, string and key. So I'll just pop this one to the side, and this is one here that is already dry. So you just take your string, just feed it through, just choose the right size depending on the size of the jar that you've chosen to decoupage, and then take your key and put your string through the top like so. I've got here, and then just choose where you would like it to be. So I think we'll just put it on this side here. You can also move it around once it's on. So just make sure that the tie of your string is at the back. So you just tie that in a wee knot at the back, or in a small bow, whatever you want. Okay, add that in there. And I just want to move this a bit here to the side. And there we have your affirmations jar. So you can sit them any way that you decide is the right position for yourself. Just like we've got these ones here that I showed you at the beginning. So it just depends, you want them at the front, the side, the back. It's really up to yourself. And then all you would do at that point would take your affirmations, pop them all in your jar, like so, and you're ready to read every day, every week, whenever you wish, whenever you feel that you just need a wee pick-me-up affirmation, and use that to set off your day on a nice positive note. And then once you have read your affirmation, you can then use your organza bag provided. Pop them in there so you can keep them safe, or if you decide you want to reuse them again. So thank you so much for watching my video on how to do your affirmations kit.